Hi, this is Sprites. I wanted to do a second feminine meditation since I know a lot of you enjoyed the last one and I have a lot to share because there's a lot of things that make me feel feminine and I didn't get to mention them all in the last part, or maybe I'm going to expand on them a little bit more in this series. So if you'd like to feel feminine and just relax and almost have this as a little meditation, please feel free to listen along and just sit back and feel girly with me. So, I'm curious as to what feminine means for you. For me, my favourite things to relax, to indulge, and usually that involves spending money, unfortunately, but I really do enjoy the scent of a really, really nice shampoo and conditioner. So then when I come out and dry my hair, I put a hair oil in that smells really nice. I blow dry it, and then either I straighten it or I curl it, and just the whole process makes me feel really luxurious and really feminine. And I'm not sure what exactly the name is. I'll have to put it in a link below, but I have a little shine mist that makes your hair look extra glossy. So especially after you've done some curls, I spray that on, and I cannot tell you how good it smells. It's I think the flavor is sugar plum with like fairy dust, and it just smells beautiful. So it's little things like that that can really amp up how you feel about yourself and make you feel more feminine and more in touch with, how you feel. So that's a pretty basic step though. That's hygiene, and I just like to elevate it. So yeah. The other one that I've mentioned always is face masks, and there are so many to choose from. When I'm having a really bad day, I love to go in with quite a few face masks actually. Maybe I take it a little bit too far. But for me, what I like to use is a clay mask firstly. So usually something from the Body Shop that is like a Japanese matcha one or a Chinese ginseng, which you put it on your face and you rub it in gently, but it will form into a clay sort of texture. And after about 15 minutes, I like to wash it off, pat my skin dry, and make sure that everything's nice and clean. And then I go in with a Korean, more moisturizing face mask. It's usually from a brand called I'm From, and I really like their brand I'm From Ginseng and I'm From Honey. The honey has a really, really smooth texture and it feels like you could actually eat it. So I really enjoy it. But the ginseng one also revitalizes your skin, so it makes it feel a lot more plump and moisturized. Both of them are really good, but for easiness sake, I usually go for the honey one because it has a less tendency to drip down onto my chin and my pajamas. So the honey one is what I'll usually do. So to make myself feel feminine in that, I've done my clay mask, I've washed the hard stuff off, I've made sure that my skin is nice and soft and feels really smooth, and then I just use a spoon in the mix for the I'm From Honey, and I make sure I mix it around a little bit so it hasn't settled anywhere. I put some onto my hands and I cover my entire face with it, except for my eyes, of course. Please don't get it into your eyes. It's okay to get it in your mouth though, because it does taste very, very nice. And usually at this point I'll sit down, take a relaxation moment just in my room. I'll listen to a podcast maybe, or actually more importantly, I'll put a movie on. So a movie that I've really been loving lately has been The Boy and the Heron, by Studio Ghibli. I always say Ghibli, but I think you're meant to say Ghibli. So you can leave these moisturizing masks on, because I've got a figure consistency, for about like 20 to 30 minutes. So I usually just lie back, relax, and let the face mask settle in. You know, if it starts to drip, I'll just grab a tissue and wipe it off, and then I'll go wash it off in the shower, which is where I brush my teeth and do the rest of everything. So yeah. I also really enjoy indulging in extravagant body washes. There's something really nice about coming out smelling like a jasmine petal, or in fact the whole row of jasmine vines. That feels really beautiful to me. So I definitely cover my body in everything that I have. I think I'm currently using a Japanese brand, but I'll have to put the link down for that one as well. But it's magnolia and jasmine, and for me that scent is just absolutely gorgeous, and I wouldn't be able to go to bed without it, honestly. So as you can tell, for me, scent is a very big component of what makes me feel feminine. There are, of course, many other ways to feel feminine. It doesn't always have to involve your body. Like I've said before, you can experiment with your style, the kind of clothes you'd wear, whether you're willing to wear, skirts or dresses or something a bit more revealing in public. Depending on the weather, of course. I can guarantee you that when it's cold, I definitely like to dress up in jeans and a jumper, and I don't worry, I just put on perfume to make myself feel nice. But at home, there's a lot more I feel like that you can do to feel womanly and feminine. So if you've got any feedback, I'd always love to hear about it. But I did want to continue on with a few ideas I have for you that I'm in the process of. Like the other things that I've mentioned were actually, they are part of like my my evening ritual and morning ritual that I do. So I follow those quite religiously to keep myself feeling nice, and it also helps with my anxiety. So yeah. But another way to feel feminine is to actually give yourself a really nice foot soak. Now, you don't have to go out and buy a really fancy foot spa or anything like that. I was using my dad's fishing buckets for quite a while before I decided that I was just going to use a bathtub instead. And so what I usually do is I put a few drops of lavender oil in that you can get pretty cheap from a chemist or pharmacy nearby. I put maybe a bit of rosehip oil as well, and you can add chamomile or any other bath salts or any other kind of like rosy milk petal, dried petals or anything, just to give that extra scent. We're going back to scent again, aren't we? But this one actually does focus more on the softness of your skin, because I have to say, when I look at my feet, I feel like they're really quite masculine and they feel dirty and stuff, and it's just not a feeling that I like. So I have started getting into soaking my feet more often, maybe each night. Okay, well, I'm a bit lazy, so maybe every second night, okay? And what I usually do is sit in the bathtub. I've got a little chair on the edge and I just fill it up to where my ankles are and pour in my jasmine oil, my lavender oil, and a bit of rosehip oil, and I just let my feet soak in it for about 20 minutes. And you can scrub them while you're in there, or you can just let the skin sorry, you just let the skin soak. So it's not going to be as dry and hard when you get them out, okay? But you want to make sure that you try and keep them in there for at least 20 minutes, because that's when the skin will start to look a little bit wrinkly, but it will have absorbed a lot of water and stuff. So it's a really nice feeling. It takes a lot of weight off your feet, and if you've got not just feminine issues but a lot of stress or anxiety going on, that's something that, you know, you really want to be embracing. Just taking some of the weight off of your feet and just feeling like you can sit there and relax. And those 20 minutes might sound really boring, but I promise you, if you bring a good book or a great podcast, or just want to listen to music or something for a little bit, then the time passes quite quickly. Now, after you finish your foot soak, it's very important to moisturize your feet. I've learnt this one the hard way, because for most of my life I've actually had very dry skin, dry on my legs and extremely cracked on my feet for no reason whatsoever. So I have had to go and buy urea cream, and honestly, if your feet are not super cracked or peeling or anything like that, then you probably don't need something that heavy. But I use a cream that has urea in it, or else I use like a Vaseline type lotion as well. And I just put that over my feet as soon as I dry them, and make sure you pat dry your feet after the soak. Just gently make sure that you cover all between the toes, and once they're dry, make sure you apply all the Vaseline or your lotion or my urea cream straight to the heels, where it's usually the skin is going to be the hardest, so you want the soft skin there to soak up everything that it can. So that's usually what I do, and if I'm feeling extra special, I will add a little droplet of rosemary oil to my feet and rub it in, and then I put on some bamboo socks, and there we go. That's a way that makes my feet feel better and my hygiene feel better, and even my sleep feel quite a little bit better. So yeah, that's covering the hygiene side. But in continuing the series as more as a meditation, which we haven't really done yet, there's a lot to talk about, so I might actually have to save it for another audio. But have you tried listening to, if you go into Apple Podcasts, there's quite a few that talk about like how to feel feminine inside, and it basically describes stuff that I'm describing, I think, really, so you know. But I really want you to understand that you can feel feminine without having to spend, you know, an extreme amount of money. You can use daily kitchen stuff, really. I mean, I use Vaseline on my feet. I also use it on my lips when I'm going to bed. I actually find that Vaseline works better as a lip mask overnight than any of the lip masks I've ever bought before. So yeah, that's what I currently do. But if you'd like to join me in a final short meditation, please feel free to listen, and we'll get started in just a second. Okay, take a deep breath in, hold, and release. and again. Breathe in. Hold and release. Keep doing that, and you want to try and make your exhales longer than your intake. Slow down to a normal breathing rhythm when you're ready, or else I personally have found that I get a little bit lightheaded, so please don't end up in that situation. But yes, while you're meditating and relaxing, I'd like you to just focus on the things that make you feel feminine, on the things that make you feel womanly. Reach up and touch your lips. Remind yourself that they feel soft and tender. Touch your skin, anywhere on your face, be it forehead, cheeks, chin, nose. Remind yourself that this skin of yours is soft, tender, and feminine. Now, relax. You can hold your hands together, or you can let them lie loose. But I just want you to take this in as I say it. You are beautiful as you are. You are beautiful the day you were born, and you are beautiful who you are today and who you will be tomorrow and 10 years from now on. There is nothing that can take that beauty away from you. And you get to decide how to make yourself feel feminine. You don't have to feel perfectly beautiful. You don't have to be a pin-up model or a Victoria's Secret model or any kind of image that you have preconceived, because beauty and femininity is something that you can create on your own through relaxation, through using beauty products that make you feel good about yourself, because the focus is feeling good on yourself. Okay? Now just breathe in, hold, and exhale. Now on the next breath in, I want you to hold, but when you exhale, I want you to say, I am feminine. Ready? Hold. I am feminine. I am feminine. It's really quite an easy, simple phrase to say. And I'd like you to say it to yourself in the mirror, at bed before you go to sleep, and in the mornings when you wake up. Especially if you've followed any of my hygiene routines and beauty product recommendations. Remind yourself in those small moments that you are beautiful and that you are feminine. Thank you for listening.